coming at you with a video on your double kicks. National champion, MMA fighter, kickboxer, taekwondo fighter, and we're going to be talking about our double kick, how to make it faster, body position, how to fire it, when to fire it, and from your specific stance. Those things we're going to cover today. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is the basics of your double kick. The double kick is like the adult version of the roundhouse kick. The roundhouse kick should be your start, but realistically you should start to throw doubles once we hit black belt and then move on to triples. This increases the volume of your kicking, the amount of points you can score, and the chance that you're going to score as far as in a combination. Transitioning to the new game, it's very front leg heavy. You see a lot of this, a lot of cut motion. You can still fire a double kick from here. One of my favorite ways to throw it, especially if you're a taller player, is we're going to have weight back, hands are up. We're going to take our back foot, we're going to slide it in if we're attacking, and when we go to throw the double, we're going to lift up on the front leg, pop, and then just like we would on the longer double, we're going to fire off this back leg and hit. So the first one is going to be kind of like homing beacon, and find out where we are, and then the second is going to fire in hard. Now if you want to hit hard on both, you can turn it into a triple, because the first kick is just to get something up in the air to find the target. The back leg is going to be the power leg. So if we turn this into a power double, the first one will act as the locator and it'll become a triple kick. So this leg will come up. Okay, so one thing I see, it's a common mistake when we're trying to get our double kick down, is that we get very frustrated with it. Now the thing with double kick is you're not always going to score with it, but you're increasing your chances of scoring. Now if you see somebody really tee off on a double, what that takes is experience. As far as throwing your double kick, you can't pull it off if you only throw it once. So when you're in the ring, let's say we throw it 5 times, we might only hit 3 of the times, but that's still 3 more than we would have hit had we only thrown it once. So a double kick is something you have to throw a lot of if you're going to score with it. As well as getting the distance down and your timing down for the kick, you have to throw it a lot. You have to try to force the kick. So a great drill for this is you're going to be on the bag and you're going to be moving in a circle in different directions, trying to hit your kick, and this will kind of help vary your distance a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll get on the bag, I'll throw a double, I'll rotate, throw a double, rotate again. Now the bag is going to be moving as we go. This will help vary our distance, and that'll also help as you get your double kick down, practicing for moving from timing and distances that are different with each engagement. Okay, another thing. When I'm fighting, some fighting is instinct, absolutely. But one thing that helps me when I have my best kicks is I'm thinking about what it is I'm going to do in the kick. And that psychological advantage helps perfect the technique in the ring. So when I'm fighting, I'm not thinking, I'm going to hit a double, I'm going to hit a double, I'm going to hit a double. What helps me is I think about the technical parts of the kick. I'm going to turn my knee over, I'm going to push off the ground. Core is tight, push off the ground, turn my knee over. And when I do that, my kicks are much stronger, much faster in the ring. So another part of this that helps me, each person's different, but these are specifically the ones that are helping me in the ring, is I think about speed. If I try to think about hitting as hard as I can, my kicks are actually slower. So if I try to think about, oh, just hit hard, my kick ends up not being as fast. Whereas when I think about speed, speed transitions into power, and you end up getting a faster, stronger kick when I mentally make that shift. Physiologically, I'm not doing anything differently. It's psychologically that I'm making the change, and that's affecting the physiology. So that's a little higher level part, but as far as black belts go, if you're really trying to get more out of your kick, I would really recommend making those transitions. Alright guys, so one drill I love for getting the double kick down, especially if you're transitioning from roundhouse kick to double or from double to triple, trying to get our distance and timing down, is this drill. I really like this one. I practice it quite a bit whenever I can. You're going to have a partner who's going to dictate the distance and timing just like someone would in the ring, and the kicker is going to respond. So I don't get to pick distance or timing. I have to adjust and then fire my double. Even if it doesn't work, try to have quick memory and keep it going. So we're going to give you a short demonstration of what that looks like. So I'm going to be moving, trying to keep distance with my partner. If you were to keep a hand out, that's where my distance would be. And I want to try to keep that distance as I go the entire time. And then he is on, it will, gonna fire, and I'm gonna respond with the double kick. It's because they're scared of you. It's because they know who you are, they know why you were created, they know that you have a plan for your life, they know that you have a purpose for your life, they know that God's hand is on you, and when they look at you, they get fearful, they get nervous, they get scared, they get worried that if you catch a glimpse
everything it is that God has for you, then you're going to start to walk a little bit different.
Alright guys, so here's 3 things we want to avoid on our double kick that are going to kill your kick as we go and really discourage you. So first one is jumping as we kick. All the time we think we need to get up in the air so that we have time to crank our knees over to accomplish the kick. But this is actually hurting us because we can't plant our legs. So this is what I mean. If I go to jump in the air to do a double, we might hit the kick, but there's no force. What we want to do instead is keep this foot planted on the ground, strike, and then push and switch. This is going to give us the power and the speed that we want in the kick. Number 2, we want to make sure there's not too much upper body movement. Yes, on a longer double, we need to crank our body over, and in the clinch, we don't want to throw any upper body motion at all. But we don't want to over-exaggerate things as we go. A lot of times I'll see a fighter getting ready to do double kick, and they'll have all this extra motion with their upper body, and they won't tighten their core. So this is what it looks like if I don't tighten my core. It's not very clean, and it's not very fast. What we want is that tight core, which is going to make it harder to read the kick. Keep everything tight, lock it out, then when you're ready to fire, there's a lot more power and a lot more speed. Last one for you guys. Have to pick up hard in addition to a push. What I mean by that is that you can't just pick up with the hip flexor. This is going to really slow our kick. I see this all the time, especially when we're going to fire from the lead leg. Have to push off. Here's a test for that. If you're going to kick, you get it on camera and you slow it down. If you go to kick and your toes come up as we go, we know we're just hitting with the hip flexor. You can do this even with the knee up. When you go to fire, the toes are pointed, we know that we engaged our calf. That's going to be really important because instead of a pulling motion, we now have a pushing motion, which is much, much quicker. So on your double, you can practice. Try to lift your toes up and throw. Not going to be as quick. And then practice digging the toes in, and gripping the mat, and firing. You're going to see an inbuilt speed, especially in camp and we've hit a wall, is the box squat. Now this is different from a regular squat where we're going to have full range of motion. The box squat, we're going to limit our range of motion by a box or plyometric stand. Now you can do this with a kettlebell, you can do this with no weight at all when you're starting and then build up. I like the kettlebell or a straight bar. Olympic bar is ideal, but if you don't have one of those, you can even use water bottles, something like that. So we're going to have a similar squat stance. Personally, I have a larger than shoulder width, feet out position. When we go to do this, we engage our core, taking a breath, pushing out. This is going to stabilize the abdominal wall. Hips disengage first, and then the knees drop down. We're going to start from right here, resting. Hands are up. When I get the cue from my brother, he's going to clap. We exhale and fire up all the way through the toes. This is different from a regular squat where we go down full range of motion and then drive up. We're going to extend through the toes, and this is going to This is going to be an example of a push-off. So let's say, for example, a football player drops down, is getting ready to explode. This is what we're simulating. So you're going to do the same thing now, but with weight. Rolled up by the chest. Check my stance. Drop down. We're going to go, I like to go 4 sets of 10 each. If that's too much, you can always drop your weight. But this exercise I really like because it gets that muscle memory of firing, especially when we're underweight. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be coming out with some more. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I absolutely love helping you guys in the Taekwondo community. Is there anything I help you with, or if there's a video you want done on some specific technique, whether it's with hook kick or Nautobahn or something to that, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to put that out there and give you guys that information. Have a good one.